Okay, thanks for joining us, everybody, this morning as we do our Habits of Health book study. My name is Julie Baker. I'm a certified health coach with Take Shape for Life. And today we're going to be reviewing Lesson 12, Muscles in Motion. And it corresponds with Chapter 16 in your Habits of Health book. So if you want to go ahead and open to page 93 in your workbook, we're going to be talking about the 3 goals of Habits of Motion and also starting the EAT program. I know the last study we talked about the NEAT program. So if you're not sure what that is, go ahead and watch the last Zoom because you want to get those things mastered and understand them before you start the EAT program. So EAT walking program. Most people, what does EAT mean? Because we're health coaches, it doesn't mean actually eating food. This means exercise, activity, thermogenesis. And in the book on page 195, it is planned movement that's vigorous enough to improve overall fitness. Any activity performed deliberately to enhance the body's conditioning, ranging in intensity from a walk in the park to a triathlon. So it's exercise. It's on-purpose exercise. When we talked last week about NEAT, that was non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That's what that stands for. So that was all the little things that we do around our house, that we're doing subconsciously, that we're, it's not exercise. So today we're going to be talking about exercise, which I know so many people want to know, when do I start incorporating exercise and how much and all that kind of stuff. And if you are on one of our programs, you probably know, if you're on the 5-in-1, we recommend that you don't exercise for the first couple weeks. And actually that's from Dr. Anderson, unless you have been working out prior to the program. If you've been working out prior to the program, then your body's in a different state. But if you have not been, we don't want you to jump right in because your body is still adjusting to a lower calorie diet and lower sodium. And it just takes a couple weeks to get there. And then once you do that, you're going to be feeling really good and you're probably going to be wanting to do some sort of exercise. And that's where we kind of incorporate the NEAT that we talked about last week. But then also we do exercise is a part of our health as well. So we don't want to totally, just focus on diet and not focus on exercise because it is part of it. But we also want to make sure that it is safe to do. And there is a disclaimer in here. It says before you begin the EAT programs, make sure you're comfortable with the NEAT ones and you have consulted with your doctor to make sure that it's safe. So if you're watching this and you have any health concerns, I just want to note that you talk to your doctor if you need to. We do not want anybody getting hurt. So day 1, if you turn the page on page 94, where are you today? Is exercise something that you have incorporated at all? What's your current state of health? And all of those things kind of go hand in hand with exercise. But what I really love just about the Habits of Health program in general, and you'll find out as we go through this chapter that, it's such a lifestyle change. And I think that it really is just being more aware of your hours in the day as far as exercise and things like that, like using the time that you have, using the food that you have to fuel your body to be the best version of you. So I know people are like, I don't have time to be at the gym for 2 hours and all this kind of stuff. That's why we talked about the NEAT points. Get those things in because you're not taking any extra time to do that. I actually had a message from somebody who said, I work at a gym and I don't have time to work out. And I just I was like, oh, well, yeah. I mean, she's at work. So she's like, I don't want to have to work out like hours and hours and hours. I work at a gym. And I thought, isn't that funny that she probably isn't at her best health and she works at a gym? So it's just kind of ironic, but you want to see where you're at in your health before you get started with all of this. But Dr. Anderson does not recommend really aggressive programs just because they're not sustainable, especially if you're on your health journey and you're trying to lose weight. It is challenging to do those things for the rest of your life. And that's really what these programs are set up to do is it says 30 minutes a day, a lifetime of health. And I love that because it's doable. You know, I mean, people are like, there's no way I can keep up with this and do all this. In the book on page 196, there's a whole paragraph, 30 minutes a day, a lifetime of health. That's all it takes. 30 minutes a day of moderate exercise for a lifetime of health and longevity. And you can see there's a little chart. There's goals for Dr. A's Habits of Motion. And the movement system that we're going to talk about has 3 main goals. The first one is energy expenditure, cardiovascular health, and musculoskeletal health. There we go. These 3 components work together to support each other and help your entire body achieve your optimal health. And as you know, Dr. A was he was a critical care physician, so he saw people on their deathbed and was really like, okay, it's my job to save you, but let's backtrack and see if we can help the problem before it even gets this bad. And so that's where he came up with just these educational materials and the walking program that we're going to talk about and all of those things. And so we're going to talk about walking in particular, but you want to make sure that you can figure out your target heart rate and all of those things before we get started. So that is actually in your workbook, so you kind of know where you're at. On page 94 in your workbook, well, first of all, step 1 is make sure you have the correct things available to help you work out. So comfortable, breathable workout clothes, really good shoes, talked about that, ladies, a pedometer, a safe route to walk, and about 20 to 30 minutes in your day to walk. If you live up north, you might have to be inside. I know it's like snowing right now. It's April, but weather is a little bit crazy. So safe route to walk might mean indoors for some of you. But to also figure out your target heart rate, and there's a formula for that. And you can do that right now. You take 220 minus your age, and that's your maximum heart rate, and then multiply it by 0.5. You can go ahead and do this, but it'll tell you that what your target heart rate is going to be between. There's 2 numbers. So to figure out what it's going to be between when you're walking. I'm going to give you a minute to do that. And it says, do not begin the EAT program until you've lost weight and have become comfortable with the NEAT program. As with starting any new activity, consult your physician. Okay, the best way to build success is to start slow. Clear your pedometer and set a goal for your first walk, and it does not have to be long. I took a walk this week because I just needed to get out of the house, and it was down my street and back. That was 5 minutes, but it just made me feel a lot better, clear my head, get some exercise. But before you do that, you want to stretch, and that's really important. You want to do a kind of a warm up and a cool down. This says to stretch after your walk. I always stretch a little bit before because I have like old injuries and things like that. So, but you do want to make sure that you do stretch, and that is important. This says do a warm up, 5 minutes. Stretch your problem areas. So that's me. And do a moderate pace. Do 10 minutes at 2 miles an hour. And it actually tells you that's about 665 steps. So if you have a pedometer, you will kind of know where you're at. That's going to help you. And then do a cool down, which is 5 minutes at 160 steps. So that right there is about 25 minutes if you're including stretching in there. So it's not all day. And this can be something that you do in the morning. If you have a dog, you can walk your dog. At night with your spouse gives you an extra time to talk with each other. So try to fit it into your day. You know, it doesn't have to be this stressful thing where, I mean, I have a lot of clients that are really trying to figure out, where is this going to fit in my day? Maybe I need to wake up a little bit earlier. Or now that it's lighter out longer, maybe we can do this after dinner. So just finding a way for it to fit. And what's really great is in the back of this book, in the back of your workbook, if you go to the appendix, we went to this the last time, there is an activity log for you, which is really great, where you can write down, so it's on page 168. This is the EAT Walking Program Daily Tracking Sheet. If you want to make some copies of these, and you write down, you know, what your exertion is. So you can see, you know, anything from 0 all the way to 10. Did you do warm up? How long did you walk? Cool down? How many steps did you take? So you can really track it. And I know now with Fitbits and all that stuff, it makes it a lot easier to figure that out. It'll automatically tell you what calories you've burned. So, and on the next page, it'll say steps per day. You know, start tracking your steps per day too if you aren't currently doing that. And you can kind of figure out how many steps you're taking without walking, and then how many steps you're taking when you incorporate the walking program in. So that's going to help too. These are great in the back here. These are just really awesome. I would recommend printing a bunch of these. And on the next page, it talks about the training log, so upper body. We're going to go into that in just a minute. But I really love that they put those out there for you. They make it easy for you to do. And then it just encourages you to do this once a day for a week, and track it for you and just see where you're at. You want to continue to do this for a week, and then week 2, if you turn the page in your workbook, page 96, it'll say week 2, pick up the pace a little bit. So we're going to start out really slow, and then after you've established that, done that for a little while, then you're going to pick up the pace and you're going to walk a little bit faster. And it'll tell you, you know, it tells you how many steps. Just add a little bit of intensity to your workout, and then repeat steps 5 to 7 from week 1. So you're going to do the same things. You're just going to pick up the pace a little bit. Week 3, you're going to add 5 more minutes of walking and a little bit faster. So you can see kind of where it tells you in that chart on page 96 where you're at. If you're healthy or if you're overweight or obese, how many steps are required to burn a calorie, because it's going to be different based on your weight. And I really like that they throw that in there, because it's not the same for every body. Every body is different. So that's good for you to look up and just see kind of where you're at with that. They also have on here structural tension chart. I know they have that, I think, for every single chapter. They do that just to help you. Make sure those secondary choices are on there, the things that you should have, and what you need to do prior to that to make sure that it's a success, and how to get there. So if you turn in your book, Dr. A's Habits of Health, if you turn to page 202, you can see it has a small chart from the ones that are in the back. So it just kind of shows you. But Dr. A says on the side, schedule one of your fuelings for within 60 minutes, so an hour after exercising, to make sure that you replenish your system, repair your muscles, and give your immune system a boost. So don't forget to eat. That's important too. Sometimes people get so busy doing other things that they forget to eat. So make sure that you eat within an hour of your exercise. So do that according to your day, or eat a meal replacement, because that's always a good thing to do too. And I love how, it says healthy eating, neat, and eat are all working together. So all these things, when we incorporate exercise, are the equation for long-term health. So I'm reading the box on page 203 in the book, and it says most exercise programs try to do too much. They promise weight loss, cardiovascular performance, and muscle enhancement, and deliver none very effectively. Has anybody been there? I know this is something that most people struggle with. The Habits of Health, on the other hand, focus on a variety of small daily choices to create first healthy weight, then optimal health. And we're not relying on exercise for our weight loss. You are already doing that through our fat-burning, healthy eating system. So we're not exercising to lose weight here. We're exercising for our heart health, for our muscles, for our body. It makes us feel good. It's important to know that, because so many people work out for weight loss, and you probably have found out it's really, really hard to lose weight just working out. You got to focus on that nutrition, and then we add in exercise. Energy expenditure is taken care of through the NEAT system. The EAT Walking program covers our cardiovascular health, and the EAT Resistance program completes the picture by serving as a muscle and bone reconditioning program and helps us with our full range of movement for life. So I just think that paragraph sums up like everything that this chapter is about as far as exercise. And I just want to encourage you too that exercise should be something fun. I know so many times people are like, oh, I have to exercise. Find something that you love to do. We're talking about walking in this chapter because walking is a great place to start. Maybe you're an athlete, or maybe there's just something that you love to do. I love to play tennis, and so it's fun for me. It's a good workout, but it's fun for me to do, and so I enjoy doing it. So if you're at a point where, you know, there is something that you love to do, incorporate that as part of your week, as part of your life, because you're going to enjoy it. It's not going to feel like exercise. You know, some people just love to be outdoors like that. You know, walking is great for them, hiking, just being outside and doing activities with your kids or with your family. Those things are great exercise too. So I think sometimes people just have this mindset that exercise is in the gym, and that's where I exercise, and that's not necessarily true. My kids love to dance, so sometimes we will just play dance songs and be silly and dance, and I'm like tired by the end of that because it's a lot. So, you know, there's so many ways to get good exercise in, but to have fun at the same time. So just want to make sure that you know all that. Okay, so what's great about this too is if we turn the page in the Habits of Health book, Dr. A talks about just kind of the second part of exercising. And he says too that he doesn't go to a gym. He usually does stuff at his house. You know, you can get weights and do a lot of other workouts, but we'll go over that in just a second. I really like that part because there's a whole section in this book that has all of these stretches and exercises for you to do in the comfort of your home. You don't even have to go to the gym. If you want to go to the gym, you can. But there are things that, you know, that you can do at home as well. So page 205 in the book, it says equipping yourself and talking about equipments to use. It says, why don't I want you to use exercise machines? My program teaches you a complete system that you can use anytime, anywhere for many, many years to come. That's not saying that you can't use exercise machines, but what you learn in this book is that there's so many exercises that you can do at home and anywhere. And that's key, because if you're in a place where there isn't a gym or there isn't a place to work out, you know, so many people would just be tempted to be like, oh, well, I can't work out. There's not a gym. And what we're going to learn in here is that you can work out anywhere, anytime. And that's, I think his whole point is that, you know, don't set yourself up for failure, because learn these key exercises that you can do, and you can do them anywhere. You can do them in a hotel room if you're out of town, or you can do them outside. You can do them anywhere. My goal is to give you better balance, strengthen your muscles that stabilize your spine, and equip you to perform the movements that you need for everyday life. So it just makes sense to make your body as the principal piece of machinery. How awesome is that? By doing some resistance exercises. So it talks too about just the science of healthy muscles, and you might want to just read a little bit more into this chapter. But he also says that music is key. We talked about this last week when we talked about Samba and the NEAT program, just that music can be your secret weapon for long-term motivation. So anybody walks or works out, you probably have headphones in because you're listening to music. And some people will listen to, you know, books on tape or, you know, audio books, audio messages, but music is something that's really going to boost your energy expenditure. It's going to make you in a better mood. And that's why when people run, they listen to music. At upbeat music, it gets you going. It does something to your brain. So, and he even talks about that. So on page 205 in the book, on the side, in that purple strip on the right-hand side, it says, it's also a great motivator for workouts, can help your muscles heal faster. In fact, it's been shown that people who listen to music during exercise have a better chance of staying with their program. Probably because it's a feel-good thing, too. They're feeling really good while they're doing it. And enjoying such long-term benefits as enhanced quality of life, lower incidence of coronary heart disease, and not to mention that music reduces pain and discomfort from stress and anxiety. So if you are not wanting to start walking or start exercising, put some music on. Put on your favorite tunes, and it's going to make you upbeat and and really just excited to do it. So, okay, so this talks a little bit about the resistance program on the next page, page 206. Each Eat Resistant program session can either work your upper body or your lower body. So this is kind of after we've done walking, if you're incorporating that, or if you just want to do some muscle tone. I know when a lot of people lose weight, you know, your body looks really different, and you want to start giving it more definition, and you want to get stronger. So that's where this comes into play. Some major focus areas, and they list them, the upper body and the lower body. And I want us to turn to the appendix in page 200. And this is of your Habits of Health book. Oh, see box, page 200, sorry. It's Laurie Anderson's exercises. Oh, they are on page 339. I'm sorry, Appendix E. And actually, these pictures in the book are Laurie Anderson. It's Dr. Anderson's wife. So she is showing us all of these different exercises. She does stretches, then she does upper body workout. And she does do some weights and an exercise ball in here as well, which are perfect. You can buy these. I have all of these things at home. Even using a chair as resistance. You can see she has some really great workouts on here, some exercises for you to do, targeting either your upper body or your lower body, depending on what you're wanting to do. And so I think that's perfect, you know, for somebody who's just starting out and wanting to learn some of these things. She shows you exactly what to do. Once you kind of master those, and I've gone through these, and these are things that I do. I use an app called Fitness Blender, and there's a lot of different apps, so you can check it out. And it's funny because you can pick how long you want to work out for. So if I only have like 15 minutes, but I still want to do something, I will put in a 15-minute workout on whatever I want. Arms or abs or legs or whatever. And it'll come up with a workout for me to do for that period of time. So that for me is super convenient. Because I typically don't have time to work out for like hours at a time, you know, and I really want to focus on one area every day. So Fitness Blender is a great app. These exercises are a great app. And I love what it's saying too, is that it helps you just to focus on those things and to not do anything that's too high intensity. Because most people who have gone through our program have a weight loss story and sometimes a very large weight loss story. And you want to start at a place that's going to be safe. You know, we don't want to like send you to go do P90X or something like that. And it's funny because people sometimes think that that's okay, that's where I got to start. It's where I got to do. And injuries occur, and it's not a safe thing for your body. So starting out with the NEAT program, walking, and then doing some of these resistance workouts that she has is a perfect place to start. As far as with weights, start with low ones. Start with 1 to 2 pound weights, and then go up from there. And then that way you're not going to hurt any part of your body or tear any muscles. And again, you want to do a warm up ahead of time. And it tells you, you know, it gives you a weekly routine. On page 207, it says a 5-minute warm up, 5 repetitions of 5 selected movements. So you just pick 5 that you want to do and do 5 reps of those. And then followed by a rotation of 5 different exercises that work the same muscle groups if you're doing upper body or lower body. And then do a 5-minute stretch on the muscles that you worked. So this can be very simple. And he kind of he breaks it down and tells you what to do. You know, do your warm up, walking in place while swinging your arms. Mentally walk through the ones that you want to do. Remember the movements that you want to do. And then if you're at a gym, then you can use cardio equipment at a moderate pace, or you can just go right into the resistance workouts. 2 rotations of 10 minutes each. And it tells you exactly how to do this once you pick your, pick which ones you want to do. And then make sure that you're stretching. And you can kind of monitor your heart rate as well. And there's a really crazy picture on page 208 on the side of Dallas Carter and how he lost 170 pounds. And then you can tell in his before and after picture, he lost all the weight, started working out, gaining muscle. He looks like a completely different person. I would not even have recognized him. So it really can be what you want to be. You don't have to be a bodybuilder by working out. If it's something that you want to do, you can, because it's totally possible, just even, you know, based on our programs and what we know. But the importance is we want long-term health for our heart and for our muscles, for our bodies. So we got to start somewhere, just incorporating more movement. So before you start this next week, if this is something that you want to start, if you're ready, if you've lost some weight, if you're in good health to do this, and you've mastered all your knee exercises, go ahead and print out those papers from the appendix and keep track. And you know what? If you miss a couple days, that's okay. You know, it's just starting, I think, is the big key. Make sure that you kind of write down what you're doing and your goals. Make sure you let your health coach know, and they're going to guide you as to where you're at with your health, if it's something that you're ready to start, to make sure that it's done in a healthy way. And this even says too, choose 2 days a week for your resistant workout. So if you've been walking or you're incorporating walking, it recommends that you only walk, it's like the 5 and 2, okay? So like walk 5 days and do strength training, resistance training on the other 2 days. Just don't do them back to back. You know, pick days in the middle of the week because you want to give your muscles time to rest. But I think that's good too, so that you are incorporating a lot of walking, but you are getting some resistance training in on some other days. And if you turn to page 210 in the book, it'll tell you, this little chart is awesome. Okay, so it has the days of the week, what you did as far as the NEAT system. So you can say, I walked 4 flights of stairs and I walked to lunch today. The EAT system, I did a 30-minute upper body workout. The time that I spent was only 30 minutes because they're not counting the flights of stairs that you took and walking to lunch, and how many calories I burned. Now this, you can see the Monday and Tuesday, well actually probably all of them, are a little bit too much for our 5-in-1 program, because they're at about anywhere from upper 3s to 650 calories. So that's a lot if you're on the 5-in-1. So as we are going along in this book study, this is getting towards the end of your weight loss. So we want to make sure that everything's okay with your coach depending on where you're at. So I just want to make sure that you know that, because what happens is, and a lot of people don't know this, but because on the 5-in-1, you're only consuming about 1,000 to 1,100 calories. It really depends on your lean and green. But if you go work out and you burn 400 to 600 calories, that means that you are not getting enough calories. So what that does is it pushes your body into starvation mode. That is not healthy for you. And your body starts eating at your muscle because it's starving to that. So, and you don't lose weight. So for so many reasons. So I know one time I had a client, we could not figure out what the deal was. We were like, what? She didn't lose weight for several weeks. She had a back injury and she had started physical therapy and it was hard. You know, it was a lot of work, physical therapy. And so we just couldn't figure it out. And we finally were like, I don't think you're eating enough. Like, I think that this is pushing your body into starvation. Sure enough, you know, she added some more protein. Maybe did a 4 and 2 for a couple days on the days that she had PT, started losing. Isn't that bizarre that sometimes by eating more when, you know, and she had to, this was an injury, so this was not by choice. But sometimes that's why we encourage people, you know, lower the workout, because you're actually pushing yourself to the opposite side where it's not healthy for you. Or sometimes people just starve themselves, like not on purpose. They're just so busy they forget to eat. Anybody fall into that category? That you just like, oh, I ate this morning and then, oh, it's dinner time and I haven't eaten yet. So not on purpose, they're starving themselves, but they're not losing weight doing that. And it's very unhealthy. So that's just kind of, you know, where you're at with the starvation versus eating healthy. And working out goes into that too, because you're going to be burning calories. So we just want to make sure that you're at a point where this is okay. Maybe you've transitioned off. We talked about transition several weeks ago. And so it's not, you know, so much the 5-in-1 anymore. Maybe you're on a 3 and 3 or something like that. So just talk to your coach. But I love this chart because it really incorporates all the things that you're doing overall, and you can put it all in one place, that you're doing your NEAT, your EAT, and how much time it took you, so that it's, you know, if it's taking you too long or you don't have that time in your schedule, you can look back and reevaluate and figure out, maybe there's a place where I can add some things or do some extra NEAT points that aren't going to take up time in my day. So I think that's a really important part of that too. Let's see. And then in our workbook, you can fill in just some things that might interest you, like as far as exercises that you want to work on. Maybe there's a body part that isn't your favorite, or that you just really want to focus on having more muscle in. Write those down. On page 99, it says list 5 exercises you'd like to try. So I just encourage you, maybe after this Zoom, to go back through the appendix where Lori has all those exercises and write down a few that interest you, that you might want to try. And there's also a resistance program that you can fill out too. So I know many of you might probably keep this Zoom in your, just save it for later if you're not here right now, just with your health, something that you can add back in later. But I do think that it's important to get that movement in, and it just makes you feel good, you know? And that's why people love working out, because it does. It makes you feel great. You just want to make sure that it's done within the right parameters and that you're healthy enough to do that. So I am going to go ahead and stop the recording. Next week, we're going to talk about sleep. So I'm so excited. So it's going to be an awesome study on sleep. So thanks for joining us.